Our forefathers had a better quality of life. Debatable topic indeed. And so, 31 teams here on the stage are debating for and against the motion. Pay attention.
Of different points like the atmosphere, the kind of education, the eating trends. So I'll be putting forth some of the points which I think depict the better quality of life of our forefathers. Well, first of all, Mother Nature. Mother Nature has always been endowing her endless bounties on the human population. But Mother Nature was much more protected during the time of our forefathers. Well, in a nutshell, I can definitely say this phrase that our forefathers had pure air to breathe and diseases such as asthma and cancer were rare.
Ancestors were a part of the world, but we are the world. With due respect to my worthy forefathers, I would like to say that we are much better off. Don't you all think that our ancestors' lives were monodimensional? If someone pursued scriptures, there was hardly any time to master some art or craft or learn some language. The process was exceptionally time-consuming. But with the advent of information technology, now every science, scripture, and every language, arts and crafts, science and styles are just a flick away. Glory be to Google. Exceptions are always there, but they hardly ever make a rule. Genius adorn even the dark ages. The caveman was able to preserve fire and invent the round wheel. But it took ages. From fire to matchstick, it took centuries.
And with regards to today's motion, I am strongly for the topic, our forefathers had a better quality of life. Quality of life, what is it? It is our sense of community, our general stress levels, our day-to-day happiness, day-to-day fulfillment. It is life satisfaction. So what really keeps us happier and healthier? The Harvard study of adult development may be the longest study about adult life that has ever been done, tracking the lives of 724 men for 75 years. And the clearest message we get from this 75-year study is good relationships keep us healthier and happier, period.
You mentioned that even though lives are now prolonged, but people who of old age are facing a lot of diseases. So are you saying that it is better for them to be dead than to live to be as old as 60 or 70s with, let's say, some minimal diseases that can be cured?
Thank you for your question. So in the olden days, people often were suffering from infectious diseases that now can be cured with vaccines and medicine. But those diseases, they usually run a short course before killing. And nowadays, with the major contemporary diseases, cancer, Alzheimer's, and all that, they run a longer course. It is a longer course of suffering, of a longer period of dependence. And we have to face it that death is inevitable, but the way we die is not.
The burning question today is, did our forefathers have a better quality of life than we do? Well, I don't think so. Firstly, I'd like to start by defining quality of life. In economics, quality of life is defined as the general well-being of individuals and societies, outlining the negative and positive features of life. It observes life satisfaction, including everything from health, finance, wealth, family, and religious beliefs. These are the few parameters of quality of life. However, the first point that strikes my mind right now is globalization. Yes, globalization. According to our research, it was shown that globalization has improved the life and equality for more people compared with 3 decades ago. Also, another such research has shown that 400 million people have moved out of extreme poverty since 1980s due to globalization.
What do you need most to achieve a good quality of life? Do you need food or health? Or do you need money? Abraham Maslow, an American psychologist, tried to answer this exact question. So he created a theory of well-being, the hierarchy of needs. The theory classifies particular needs into different levels of the pyramid and thusly defines their importance. According to Maslow, a person on one level of the pyramid only desires to get to the next step of the pyramid without thinking about all the steps following. With the support of this theory, has our quality of life improved compared to our forefathers' quality of life? I strongly believe it has declined. The first step of Maslow's pyramid concerns physiological needs, like air, water, food, and shelter. People used to be able to provide themselves with essential resources like water, which is the basis of life, whereas now they are dependent on others. For example, people used to be able to get water from wells or springs without having to worry if it was contaminated. And this contamination is a result of modern life. And you want to tell me our quality of life has not declined? Now, water in most countries is in the hands of private companies. It's expensive and not accessible for everyone. For example, in Mexico, the people living there have to pay lots and lots of money for water bottled by companies that claim to own it. This leads to absurd situations where water is more expensive than soda. And you want to tell me our quality of life has not declined? The next level in the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is health. This need is greatly influenced by our mental health, which is endangered by our modern way of living.
Hop with me, my dear friends, onto my time machine for a brief journey into the past. We have reached 1000 AD, and what do we see? Women relegated to the backstage, slaves being ill-treated, and justice in the hands of a whimsical king. It is a depressing scenario, demeaning to human dignity. Let's hope the time machine can take us back rapidly, back to the present, back to a civilized era where there are elected governments, the rule of law prevails, and a woman almost became the president of the oldest democracy in the world. This is the progress we have made. From the primitive, might is right, to the modern, truth alone is right. Now let's not confuse between standard of living and quality of life. Both have been defined by the United Nations. Standard of living is the level of wealth, material goods, and necessities. Quality of life includes freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of movement, right to privacy, freedom of religion, right to vote, and right to human dignity, to name a few. In each of these, no one, absolutely no one, will have a different view. Things now are better, much better, significantly better. While it is true that the air we breathe now is more polluted, balance this against the slavery that existed then. It is correct that there are many new diseases now, but then there are so many new cures as well. We have stresses now of various kinds, but back then we had stresses of another kind arising from famine, lack of security for the family, or an unfair king. We are more materialistic now, but back then we were more superstitious. Lifestyles have changed. Things are different now.
How paradoxical our age is. Material progress has no doubt made our lives far more comfortable than before. But how much happier? I doubt. Our forefathers may not have enjoyed comforts provided by technology or luxuries that we are blessed with, but what they had could not be measured on any scale. Contentment, peace of mind, and most of time to enjoy the little delights life had to offer. Our forefathers had intrinsic love for nature, in as much as they defied different manifestations of nature, such as rivers and trees. Our present ultra-modern generation may laugh at the idea of nature being worshipped, but our cultural history will testify to the fact that nature bred civilizations, and that our forefathers worshipped nature in full involvement to the extent that they shuddered to cause any harm to it.
All the audience, eyes here. Here's something interesting. Guess who said this? We are so busy in appeasing the gods that our predecessors worshipped that we have forgotten, we have ignored the deities that have been formed as a consequence of our own action. Well, those who are fans of Game of Thrones, you would recognize it was said by Cersei Lannister. A fictitious character, but profound all the same. Well, there's another guy. If you would recognize him, he is Richard Wiseman, and he said that every child that is born, well, the success of that child cannot be determined by the success of his forefathers. Now, why did he say that? Because he believed in a theory. Well, that theory was known as the evolution of psychology. Well, we evolve, right? Or we fall back? We evolve. So if we can evolve, then how can our forefathers have a better quality of life? Now, this term, our forefathers, just because of that introduction of our, I cannot say that this forefather is my dad or my uncle or my grandpa. Our forefather is a forefather, a person who belongs to a previous generation and is the precursor of a common belief. That means Hitler can be my forefather. Well, if I say Hitler is my forefather, well, then I will also have to give an account for his opinions, his ideologies about how he treated women, how he believed women to be only fit for the job of breeding children.
The world has changed a lot in recent decades, and our society needs to acknowledge what consequences to our lives are. This issue needs to be well discussed so that we can grow as a society and make the world a better place for ourselves and for our own descendants. I myself believe that this statement we are talking about today is true and that our forefathers had a better life quality than we have. I'm going to discuss 3 points why this planet was a better place back then. My first point is that their generations had a better attitude for life. This is because they didn't worry about the irrelevant things we do today. They couldn't miss things they didn't know of. We are all the time thinking about technology and money and producing and earning. But for a better quality of life, you need more than that. Now to my second point, which is that there was a fewer people in this planet back when our forefathers were alive. The reason this is a problem for our planet now is that as there is more people here, there is also more consumers,
destroying all the great achievements that we have reached and inhibiting us from ever attaining our true potential. Many claim that our forefathers have led lives of better quality than ours, arguing that our forefathers had, at the very least, peace of mind. Yet, at this point, a question arises. What peace of mind do they speak of? Were our ancestors at ease when plague struck, or when they had little to no education? I leave it in your hands, ladies and gentlemen, to decide. First of all, let me define the term quality of life. A quality of life is all the factors that fall under the umbrella of social indicators, such as life expectancy, education, equality, human rights, and the list goes on. Throughout human history, each passing century has brought revolutionary changes to science, healthcare, communication, and our perceptions of equality. For instance, the life expectancy of the world population has dramatically increased over time. While it was 31 years in the 1900s, it reached an average of 67.2 years in 2010, according to CIA and World Health Organization.
Quanta, the annual international competition for science, mathematics, electronics and mental ability tests organized by City Montessori School Chalk campus, is internationally recognized with competitors representing nations from around the world. At CMS, it is our endeavor to focus on the use of science for positive and constructive purposes. Competitions at Quanta took place in that spirit. The third day of the competitions round at Quanta began on an emotional sharing moment, the feedback session.
When we arrived in India, we didn't expect so much happiness around here and so many cool people to know and so many different tasks to do here. It's a tough schedule here, but it's completely worth it. And all of people from my team are really happy to be here. Everyone is so proud to know all of you from different parts of the world and from India. You are so receptive, and we are really thrilled on sharing those experiences with you. About the competition, it was so amazing. We trained hard to it, and I think we could accomplish much of our expectations. And that's all. I want to thank you all for the experience, and I hope to see you in other events. And thank CMS School, thank Gandhi, thank everyone who made this event possible, and thank you all, and see you later.
I just want to thank you guys for the experience. It was amazing, and we love to be here in India, and thank you so much for everything.
We want to thank to every participant and every person who has worked to make Quanta nice as it was. And today we have still some competitions, and coming from Brazil inside an airplane, we questioned if it was worth to stay too many hours inside the airplane. So we are gonna get to a competition and participate, not sure if you would get some prize or something like that. But here we've seen that it is too much more than just a prize or just a competition. So by the lectures about unity and worship and religion, and also every competition and every person we've met, we are so thankful for that, and to everything in here was amazing. Thank you.
I would like to say that when I got here, I didn't know nothing about India, and I haven't met any other culture, but talking with everybody and by the lectures of all the people we've seen, we've talked with Mrs. Gandhi, Mrs. Sadma Betty, we've learned so much. We've got in touch with other cultures, seen another world different for ours. So it's very touching. It's not about a competition. It's about learning other cultures. The better experience that I believe that I'll get, and I think that most people who think the same of me, is that we here are not just doing a competition. We are not just earning prizes or medals. We are earning we are learning about the world, about life. We are learning culture, like Mr. Gandhi said. We are united. We have people around of all over the world, talking, interacting, giving gifts. I think that Quanta, the best thing I've seen here is the interaction between people from all over the world, and I think that this is the best thing I'll carry home with me. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Erica from Brazil, and I'm also from Team 5D. Speaking on behalf of my team, we loved the experience. Having the opportunity to meet people from Jordan, Lebanon, and also from different states of Brazil at the same time, at the same place, was an experience that we would have never ever had before. We are really happy to be here and would love to have the experience again. The thing that we most liked about the competition was the feedback.
We all thank the City Montessori School for the welcome and hospitality, and we also thank for the opportunity of interacting with people from all over the world. We also want to give a gift. It's from our city. It's clothing of our official soccer team. Thank you so much.
I would like to thank you all for this amazing experience. It's been much greater than I thought it was in Brazil. I could meet people from all over the world. I actually made a list because there was so many countries that I started getting lost. That's, for me, the best part of this experience isn't the competition, isn't the awards, but it's the time I could have. It's the friends I could make. And we could see that the world can be united. We could see that many countries can relate together. We couldn't talk with Russians, German, Finlands, and from people from Nepal, Jordan, Indian, and that's really cool. I never thought that I would make friends from so many countries, and for me, this is priceless. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure for Red Park, for Brazil, to stay in for the 6th time here in India, in Quanta. 6 years ago, CMS invited the Professor Ramos as a guest of honor to visit the Quanta as the first Brazilian person in this competition. Since this time, we have worked a lot in Brazil to diffuse this important competition to all the schools in the country. In these 5 years, we have take to India, to Lucknow, to Quanta, more 400 students and teachers from different schools from Brazil. And this is a very important experience to improve the education in Brazil, especially in science and mathematics, and of course, to enjoy the people, share experience, and unite the world. Thank you for CMS, thank you for Ms. Berry, for Ms. Gandhi. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
To refer to an important sentence of Dr. Gandhi's course. He said that everybody has a physical father and a godfather as well. Of course, we agree with this, and we agree that we should honor our parents. But our generation is also asked to make our world better, especially to make it more peaceful and to fight against hunger and other crises. Today we have many local wars in the world. Therefore, education must be independent and scrutinizing thinking that empowers us to judiciousness and humanity. Only with this we can identify the things that our parents leave to be improved.
Dr. Gandhi is the best model of an educator for peace and mutual understanding. In these days we have an outstanding chance to practice this exactly. Once more, our most cordial thank.
Dear Mrs. Beatty, you said it. It is the 4th time for me to attend Quanta competition, and at any time it's a great pleasure and great experience for me.
Thank you, sir.
I enjoy the competitions, and
I learn many things for our local quizzes in Stuttgart, and therefore it's an outstanding experience for me to be here, and I thank you and Dr. Gandhi so much for this chance to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Germany.
Friends, an uncluttered mind with precise, quick responses is the key to clinch any quiz contest. And so, friends, here are the excerpts from the science quiz with 12 teams on the stage, followed by the mental ability test, again 12 teams on the stage. Both the quizzes were conducted with great elan by none other than Mr. Carlyle McFarlane, Principal, Lamartnia Boys College, Lucknow.
Identify this device. 4A. Identify this device.
It's a copper coil.
It's a copper coil. Not a sufficiently informative answer. There are many hands up in the hall. Yes, the boy in the blue shirt here. It's a transformer. Yes, it's a relay. Maroon blazers are very much in vogue these days. Please come forward. It's a relay. What is the value of this surface mount resistor? What is the value of this surface mount resistor?
1 ohms.
104 ohms is not the correct answer. All right. 100 kilo ohms is the correct answer. The red arrow points to a shiny object. What is the red arrow pointing to?
Capacitor?
It is not a capacitor. It is not a capacitor. Yes, there's a boy excitedly jumping up there with spectacles. Tell me the answer. Absolutely right. Come on, give him a big hand. All right. The heat sink boys, 2 of them shouted out the answer together. All right. And what is this a symbol of?
I suppose it's some kind of magnetic button.
Magnetic?
A button.
It's very simply the symbol of a relay. The symbol of a relay. The boy in the blue shirt, come on up. He seems to know all the answers today. Okay. What do the numbers circled in red mean?
The power rating.
What do we mean by the power rating? I need a clearer answer. Not the correct answer. The correct answer is, it is the nominal diameter, that the nominal diameter is 20 millimeters and the nominal height is 3.2 millimeters. That is the code for this. Okay, so no marks awarded over there. What current flows through the 20 ohms resistor? Team 2E.
0 amperes.
0 is the correct answer because the diode 2D is reversed. 10. Now, have a look at that image. It does look a little blurred. Question.
Selective refraction.
Selective refraction is not the correct answer. Okay. Chromatic aberration. Stand up. Please come forward, the 2 boys. Right. Please. Identify the animal by this coat.
Cheetah.
Cheetah is not the correct answer. It is the jaguar. It is the jaguar. This is a very rarely flowering plant. As you can see, the flower is huge. What is the peculiarity of this flower?
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
What is special about this flower?
This flower smells like a meat.
This flower smells like a meat, and I'm going to give him 10 points for that. It is called the carrion flower. The word carrion is a reference to any corpse, whether human or animal. This flower, which rarely blooms, smells like a rotting corpse. For those of you who've enjoyed smelling rotting corpses, well, that's something to put in your hair the next time you see it, all right? This represents the first step of a recently developed technique. Which technique is this? Yes, for E.
Cell division.
Cell division is not the correct answer, alright? A baby with 3 parents. Okay, come on up and receive a prize, alright? It is in fact known as the 3-parent baby. Identify the objects in this picture. Yes, 2B. It's an electron microscope. Okay, not the correct answer. Artificial heart pumps. Okay, lovely guesses. It's sounding extremely entertaining. Anyone else? These are dental implants. It's not an artificial heart, alright? What are the white objects seen on the back of this male bug?
I think these are the eggs of the bug.
These are the eggs. This is a male bug. And rather than terrify him any further, let me tell you that that is the right answer. Alright? 10 points over there for team 4A. Those objects are batches of eggs that are cemented to the back of the males, who carry them about and aerate them until they hatch. Which organic compound is represented by this figure?
I think amylose. Amylose.
Amylose is not the correct answer. Cellulose is the correct answer. Please come up. Cellulose C6H10O5N or polysaccharide, it is cellulose is the correct answer. Okay, so that boy, it's a little clip. Now your question based on this. A special wire connects the 2 wheels. Because of its properties, you will see these rotations. What are such wires called? Team 2B, what are such wires called?
Magnetic wires.
Magnetic wires is not the correct answer, but I'm sure there will be someone in the audience who will be familiar with this. The correct answer is that these are called shape memory alloys. Shape memory alloys, and so no marks awarded over there. Identify the shiny solid from its characteristics. If hot sulfuric acid is poured over it. Identify the shiny solid from its characteristics if hot sulfuric acid is poured over it.
Is it lithium?
Is it?
Lithium.
Lithium. No, it is not lithium. But there is a boy over there, yes, who wants to give an answer. It's not mercury. It is gallium. Please come forward. Okay, it is gallium. What is the material of this disc? Anyone else? A magnet. Wow, a magnet. Okay. The correct answer, no points awarded here, is it is made of silicon. Alright, it is a silicon wafer. Alright. Yeah. The question has not been asked. You've seen the animation. Which experiment is demonstrated 2N in this animation? 2N only. 2E, put off your buzzer.
Rutherford's alpha scattering experiment.
Which is the correct answer. Plus 10 points over there. 2E, switch off your buzzer. Even before the question has been asked, they have taken the risk, which is perfectly alright. What are such defects known as? 2E. What are such defects known as? Okay?
Spine breakage.
Not the correct answer. We throw it open to the audience. This is called a compression fracture. A compression fracture. Notice how it's being pressed down and the bone breaks over there. Okay? Have a look at this animation. To Q, which genetic disorder was depicted in this animation?
Sickle cell anemia.
Is the correct answer. Sickle cell anemia is a genetic disease that affects the hemoglobin, the oxygen transport molecule in the blood. The disease gets its name from the shape of the red blood corpuscles under low oxygen conditions. Okay? To N takes that. What properties of the moving particle can you infer from this clip?
Actually, there is a magnetic field and that's an electric charge. So when it goes down there, so by following the perpendicular laws, it takes down a circle.
Wrong answer. Minus 10 points over there. Anyone from the audience would like to try that? I can argue with you on this. It was a positively charged particle. Okay, that was the answer that we were looking for. Watch it carefully. (5C) strikes the buzzer. Question: what results when this type of division takes place?
Down syndrome.
Correct answer. 10 points over there. Alright. Down syndrome, it's a mongoloid syndrome or DS or DNS, also known as trisomy 21. It's a genetic disorder caused by the presence of all or part of a third copy of chromosome 21. And we move into the first round, the very first round in this mental ability test of 2016, where we will be testing the different skills related to observation in the participants over here. 2N. We will be moving clockwise and then counterclockwise. 2N receives the first clue. Have a look at the image which is up on the screen and understand that it is part of a bigger picture. If you can give me the answer within the time of what this is, you pick up 10 points. Yes, 2N.
A shirt button.
It is in fact a button. Shirt or pant, I'm not sure, but it is indeed a button, picking up 10 points over there, 2N. Have a look at that image and tell me what it is, a part of a larger picture. 4A.
It's a flower.
A flower is not the correct answer. No negative marks. A duck? Really? That thing that goes quack quack? Yes? A duck, she says. And let's have a look at the answer now. It is in fact a duck. Alright? This girl recognizes her family so well. Alright? Wonderful. Please come up and take some sweets from us over here. Team 1M, this is for you.
The bark of a tree.
It is in fact the bark of a tree. Yes, 2C, I must ask for your answer now. 2C.
The backside of a circuit.
The backside of a circuit. God, that doesn't sound very nice, but it's not the backside of a circuit at all. Anyone else? Shadow of a window. Alright, let's have a better look now. It is in fact the marking on a tire. The marking on a tire. Alright. Next one to team 2K. Based on observation, you have seen this many times before. Team 2K.
An insect on a tree.
It's an insect on a tree, which is not the correct answer. It's a clothespin. Yes? Clothespin? Alright, the two of you come up over here and receive a prize. It is in fact the hinge, the part of a clothespin. Silence in the hall or the question will be cancelled.
Lock.
A lock? It's not a lock, but there are hands up. Yes, somebody over there. A jack. Yes, yes, yes. And the first person to give me the answer from there, Jack, will find his Jill. Come on up, for that is indeed what it is, alright. The picture over there, an audio jack, okay. Now has a look at its image.
A zebra.
A zebra. Wow, pretty close. Zebra, but it's not the right answer. From Lebanon, it is in fact the back of a bee. Or
Egg. It's a egg.
an egg.
Egg.
It's an eye. Alright, I'll give you 10 points over there. But to be more specific, it is the pupil of an eye, okay, which is the correct answer. 4R. 4R. Let's have a look at this image. Let's hope you identify it really quickly. Maybe leaves. Is it or is it not leaves?
Leaves.
Leaves, alright. Not the correct answer. Pineapple. Alright. Pineapple. How many say pineapple? Come on up. Pineapple, she said. Let's get the answer up on the screen, and she comes up over here and we see that it is in fact the center of a flower. Team 4U. Team 4U, that's for you.
It's a camera shutter.
It's a camera shutter. A camera shutter, not the correct answer. It's a CD reader. It is the lens of a CD reader. Yes, and there it is over there. Not a camera shutter, unfortunately. And the boy who first shouted that out, please come up and receive a small award. Okay. And the last question in this round before we move counterclockwise, here it is. Have a look at that image. Yes, 5A.
It's a river.
It's a river, okay? Maybe a Google map image of a river, but that's not the right answer. That boy is making dirty signs over there. Alright, but it is in fact, and here it comes. Come on, dirty signs boys, stand up. There it is pencil shavings. Alright, pencil shavings. It shows you bio. Now, what is the clever trick or the indirect information, the message that is given in this logo?
The I complete the V and forms like a wave.
And so?
The form of wave that it forms. And O, it's also in a form of a wave shape.
It's also in the form of a wave shape. No, I'm sorry. we'll not be able to give you that as an answer. It is the computer analog and digital pattern, the sine wave and the digital 1010, okay. The computer analog and digital pattern spells vial, alright. We all love ice cream, alright. And Baskin-Robbins is a particular favorite, okay. What is the hidden message which is given in this logo, the BR standing for B for Baskin and R for Robbins? Indeed, it is in fact 31 flavors and 31